Welcome to the Founder Fumbles podcast, where we dig deep into real life entrepreneur struggles and comeback strategies. My hope is for entrepreneurs to learn how to bounce back from real entrepreneurs that have real problems. I'm your host, Dahmari Taplin, and here we have Amber Simon.
Hey.
Okay.
Excited to be here, Mr. Dahmari.
Yeah. So thanks for, your patience with me. I know this was it's hard to, getting this all under wraps, but
It was me. I was the problem. I had a flat tire. We were supposed to do this last week, but I had to get my flat tire fixed. But we're here now.
We here now. So what's been going on with Quivr?
Quivr has been quivering. We've been doing pretty good. So just so you all know, Quivr is a pleasure coaching organization. But what we really do is we bring women together and show women how to have a pleasure-first life. And so I actually decided, that's how I met you a couple of years ago, to build an app around that to give women the resources that they need to be able to sustain a pleasure-first life. But when we can get into this later, but I discovered I didn't actually need an app. So we can talk about that later. I don't even use that app anymore. I have a different solution that works better for my clients, and that's the one that we ran with.
Wow.
So Quivr started off as a coaching, pleasure coaching, right? And kind of side railed and built this app and figured out that wasn't the solution, which is, again, you have to listen to your customers. And we've grown from there, and being able to figure that out has been able to give me the leverage to say, okay, this is the community that women want, and grow that, and we've been doing pretty good.
So you keep saying this thing is pleasure first. What does that mean to you?
Yeah. So myself, I was a human resources executive before I started Quivr. And I realized one night I was sitting up and I was working on my third merger for that year. I used to work for financial institutions. And I remember thinking, what are we rated on this podcast? Are we like PG, PG-13? Can we be a little R? Okay, so I was up working. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. And I remember thinking to myself, I was dating someone else at the time, and this person was in my room. And I remember thinking, I do all this work, I make all this money, and I don't even get fucked. I don't even have pleasure in my life, right? There's no balance here. And so for me, a pleasure-first life is about having that balance, giving women permission to say, no, pleasure is not a reward at the end of a hard work day. Pleasure is something that I'm entitled to. And how do I have that safely? How do I have that informed? How do I have that on my own terms, where I feel comfortable with my boundaries and I feel comfortable talking about my non-negotiables? So that's where it came from. I knew in my life as a high-achieving woman that there was no balance and there was no joy in just working, and not having anything in return for that. So,
Right. Yeah. So are you only educating women on how to get pleasure from other men or women, or it's just for what if they don't want to have a partner? That's always something.
Amazing question.
You know what I'm saying?
So you don't have to be partnered to have pleasure coaching. So for example, before you met your amazing wife, was your life void of pleasure? Right?
No.
So what we do is we teach women how to sustain pleasure partnered or without a partner. So for myself, before I met my current partner, it was really a matter of, hey, what brings you joy? And not just what brings you joy, do you have balance in that space so that when it comes time to the bedroom, even if it is just me, myself, and I, do I know what I like? Am I okay with experimenting in that space? Am I okay with being able to say, this is just me, and I'm still going to be sexually gratified without having a partner? So those things are all very possible. And so if you go through the Quivr method, we can talk about what it means to you and your partnership, although I don't coach partners, it's one-on-one. And then the other piece of that is, if you're not partnered, how do we make that shift in that mindset that you have to be partnered in order to have sexual gratification? So, don't need a partner for the Quivr method.
Dang, that's crazy. So the Quivr method.
Yeah.
So that's away from the app which you're talking about. So before we go into the Quivr, because I want to ask you one more question before we go to there. Is this just only for women?
This is only for women. So when I started Quivr, my biggest thing was there's so many resources for men, right? And a woman's experience is completely different. And I wanted to service a different kind of woman. I wanted to service a woman who knows that, hey, I've got it all. I've done all the things. I've built the family. I built the business. I sustained somebody else's business, whatever that situation is. But she's also looking for more. She's looking to elevate, and she knows that it's possible. She just doesn't know how to get there.
Right.
And for me, it was personal. It was absolutely personal. I was in a marriage for 17 years that was void of pleasure in all aspects of that. And so for me, I thought for women, this is a unique avenue, especially for those of us who may not think that we have time to experience pleasure in the way that we want to.
Wait. So you was married.
Uh-huh.
Not having sex in your marriage?
We had 3 kids, so we were having sex. But for myself, it was unfulfilling sex. It was, I can just say this, it was 17 years, and that person, I never experienced an orgasm with them. And not to be confused with it was his responsibility to give me one, because I also wasn't, because you can't give someone, right? An orgasm, and that's a whole nother conversation. But I realized that my needs weren't being fulfilled because I was intimidated and scared to communicate those needs. And so consequently, my marriage was void of pleasure, at least on my end of the street. I don't know what he would say, but yeah.
So, I know this is kind of way off topic, but you got those, some people that just don't care about sex. Like they don't care about pleasure. Like,
don't confuse pleasure with sex, though.
Pleasure and sex.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Oh.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
So I can experience pleasure eating a strawberry. Tastes good, feels good in my mouth. It's pleasurable.
Right.
So when we're talking about intimate pleasure, that's when we talk about sex. So that's where I see the difference, right? But from a Quivr perspective, it's all the same. Because if you lack balance, and so when you talk about from the boardroom to the bedroom, when you lack that balance, when you say, I hate my job, this is a horrible experience, I have to deal with this all day long, and then I have to go home and pretend to be happy, it's going to affect the bedroom, right? And so generically speaking, we do say just pleasure in general at Quivr because it's all connected. If I have a bad day at home, odds are I'm probably not going to have a great sexual experience later that evening or afternoon or in the middle of the day.
So what kind of advice would you give a person that has just been busy at work all day and really wants to have, sex or experience some pleasure, but when you get home, you're just tired?
Yeah.
Do you communicate that with your husband or wife?
Absolutely.
Just do we schedule some time, or do we do something just for her?
That could be done for sure.
Right.
So I always tell people there is no shame in scheduling sex, just period, right? But the first
calendar.
Yeah, I mean seriously. But now that doesn't mean at all odds we're just going to have sex, because if you're just not feeling it. But that's where the Quivr method comes in. We teach women how to sustain that pleasure in all aspects, right? And so, for example, for myself, in my past life, if I went to the office and I had a particularly hard day, it was easy for me to allow that mindset. Say I had a bad interaction with my boss. It was easy for me to let that day spiral. But then at one point I had a COO who told me, he was absolutely amazing and I still love him to this day, do you hate our CEO more than you like your job? And I was like, okay. But that mindset helped me think about in terms of my personal and pleasure life, right? My intimate pleasure life. Am I going to allow this job to be more important than my joy, my happiness, my pleasure? And the answer is no. So it's a mindset shift. So if you go through the 10-month Quivr method program, the idea is that you learn how to set up those same boundaries in your workplace or your place of responsibility, regardless if that's your home, if you're a stay-at-home mom. Hey, how do I set up boundaries even with my person to say, hey, when you get home, I know you've been at work all day, but so have I. Mm-hmm. And so this is the division of labor that we need in order for me to be able to keep my sanity and we can spend time together later and enjoy each other. So in terms of you get home and you're tired, you've had a long day, blah, blah, blah. What's the best thing to do is, articulate that and say, it's been a long day, but I still want to be intimate with you. Can our intimacy not be intercourse tonight? right? Can our intimacy be we snuggle on the couch and watch movies, right? So there's other ways that we can get around that and still have intimate time with our partners or even ourselves. I'm just going to sit on the couch and eat a bowl of popcorn and feel good about it. Beyond just, hey, when I come home, let's bang one out. So,
for me, I kind of feel like when it comes to like intimacy and like sex with your partner, like you don't have to like go in every single night. It can be like you're both tired, you both want to sleep, which means one from both sides. But there's other things too. There's tantra. There's intimate breathing we can do together. There's sensate focus. There's a lots of exercises that you can do that are still arousing that don't necessarily mean that we have to have intercourse. Right.
So but you still get that good stimulation from it as well. So yeah.
That's dope. I never even thought of all of that stuff.
You better get in here and start getting freaky.
It's kind of it's brilliant to be completely honest. I mean, it's just like the way that you're helping women from these aspects is completely different than what we thought of.
Well, there's balance, right? A lot of the times we don't want to spend time, saying to our partner, hey, Dahmari, I'm tired tonight. But what would be really great is if you gave me a scalp massage. That would feel amazing, right? So I always tell women, focus on you first, and then you can bring your partner into that and educate them on what you need to feel fulfilled. And then everybody's happy.
That's crazy. So what's like the biggest people that come to you? What's like the main? Is it like a select group of people? People that have this issue or that issue.
So we're not therapy. We are pleasure coaches, and so I usually tell people and I can usually tell. So with the Quivr method, there is an application, so we don't just take anybody. And I can read that application and tell through what they're saying to me whether or not they're ready for coaching or whether or not they're ready for therapy. So the Quivr woman, or they should be in therapy. So the Quivr woman typically comes to me, the one that I'd accept, already knowing, hey, I just want more balance and I want to be able at the end of the day to say, damn, that was good, right? And so for her, it's about being able to say, I am ready to transform my life to pleasure first. And that may mean and getting comfortable with what some of us may consider being selfish, right? But the way that we coach it at Quivr is it's not selfish, it's self-care, right? And so I would say in terms of what that woman comes to us with, it's not so much an issue that they've got as much as it is, I just want to feel something again. And I want to be able to experience things on a big level, right? So I would say in terms of I have a problem, it would revolve around, I just don't know how to lay the foundation to being able to say from the boardroom to the bedroom, pleasure comes first in my life. And so I can set up these boundaries here. How do I do that? How do I get that moxie? It's one thing to say, hey, I'm a CEO and I know how to run a business, but can I run that business and run my life at the same time and have the two not cancel each other out in terms of I'm just miserable?
Right. So are you doing like a assessment or something?
So there's an application. So if you want to coach with Quivr, you would go out to our website or our link in bio, or if you follow us on socials, and you can click on that. And there's a couple things you can find. Is you'll find the Quivr method, and it explains to you all about everything what it is. But then during that, it takes you to an application, and you fill out that application. It's about maybe 2.5 pages long. Some of it's just a radio button, you click yes, no, or whatever the situation is. But in other spaces, it says, hey, how do you, Dahmari, or how do you, Kim, define a pleasure first life? What does that mean? And it helps me understand where they're at. Because again, if someone comes to me and says, I have deep sexual trauma, and they want me to help them with that, I can't. That's a therapy thing. But if they're saying, I have deep sexual trauma, I know that I have deep sexual trauma, but I'm also in therapy, and I'm ready to be coached because I don't want to stay in this space. I know what's kind of holding me back, and I've got tools for that. Now I'm ready to go out there and explore and enjoy my life on a whole new level. Then I can say, yep, she's ready. So this application kind of tells me where you're at, and if you're a good fit for the Quivr method, because the work that we do is really intimate. So I want to make sure that this person is a good fit for us as well, right?
So, where did you get this idea of creating this assessment or this quiz, the application? Where did you get that? Because I know that I need to do something like this with Ziga. You know what I mean? Where did you get this idea? How did you set it up? Who told you need to do this? You know what I mean? And
out of experience. Out of experience.
Yeah.
So no one told me as much as I realized. I was at first, when you start a business, you're like, yes, you can come, you can be my customer, right? Because $1 is $1 at that point. But
not everybody's your customer.
Not everybody is my customer.
You got to figure out who's your customer. You got to figure out what they want, and then you got to give it to them.
Exactly. So what I realized was I was getting kind of a mixed bag. I was getting women who would come in and say, you know what, I'm just sad and I'm just lonely and I want help dating, right? And we can do that, but it's not our focus. I want to make sure that the whole woman is here, right? So for example, if a woman comes to me and says, I want to learn how to pop it in a handstand and twerk it and da-da-da, I say, that's great. Is that for you or is that for a partner, right? And if they say, well, my partner wants and he likes or she likes, blah, 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 I'm like, come back when you're ready for you. Because there's a million YouTubes, there's a million learn how to ride classes, there's all that stuff. And we will get there and we will do that. But that's not until month 6 of being with us, right? We work on the whole woman. So if you come to me, if you come to Quivr, and I can tell that you're just I just want to learn bedroom tricks, this probably isn't the program for you. And what I learned was, as the right Quivr woman was coming to me, she was a very distinct, specific kind of a person.
What is that person?
Yes.
Who is the Quivr person needs to come to you?
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
Yes, that Quivr woman is probably...
Not probably. Who is that woman?
She is 35 to 65 plus.
Okay.
She most certainly makes over 100. Most of my clients are easy 150 plus range, 1,000 in terms of what their income is. She's very self-assured. She's also very convinced that she can do anything, right? But this area of her life might be an area of her life that she just hasn't quite mastered. The Quivr woman.
Pleasure.
Yes, exactly.
She hasn't mastered pleasure.
She hasn't mastered pleasure, and she hasn't mastered the balance, right? She works.
So when you say they haven't mastered pleasure, does it mean that they feel boring?
It's the balance. In some places, it might be a little bit boring, right? So let's say, for example, we'll take me for example. I had a fabulous human resources corporate career. Was making great money, could travel all the time, I could buy my kids whatever they wanted. It was great. So I was experiencing pleasure in terms of hey, I've made it. I'm successful. I was not experiencing pleasure in terms of the intimacy in my life because I wasn't making time for it, and that was my excuse. I just don't have time. I work all the time. I have 3 kids, blah, blah, blah. No, it's a lifestyle. Do I wake up in the morning and meditate, or do I wake up in the morning and check my email? Do I wake up in the morning and have hot lemon water, or do I wake up in the morning and have coffee and a shot of whiskey to get going? Right, I'm being extreme. But
so you help people get their mind ready for it by not introducing themselves with toxic stuff first.
Absolutely. I mean, it's truly about a lifestyle. There are days where I wake up and say, I have this meeting, and I'm tired and my spirit doesn't take me there today. And I know this sounds foo-foo-y, but this is the reality. I'm tired. I don't feel like doing this today. I'd much rather go on a hike. I want to go on a hike. No one's going to die if I go on a hike today instead of immediately opening my laptop and getting at it. And so I give women that permission. I give women that permission to say, this isn't becoming of a lifestyle that's going to be sustainable. I had a heart attack at 35 years old. And I don't have heart disease. I've never had heart disease. It turns out I had a birth defect. But the reality was the stress aggravated my heart, and I had a heart attack. And I don't want that for the rest of other women in this world. I want women to recognize that, again, pleasure is not a reward. You're entitled to it. And it's okay to say, if you have a group, I have a tremendous group of girlfriends, and they're always doing amazing things, and they're always planning amazing things. And I'm the person now who will say, no, I can't make it to that brunch. Or because in the past, I would just fill my calendar Monday through Sunday. I have to be at this event. I got to be at this event. I've got to do this thing. I've got to take my kids here. I got to do that. And now I can lead with no, and I'm okay with it because it disrupts my pleasure first life. I don't feel like doing it. I don't have to do it.
Right.
And I think a lot of the times women feel like we're obligated to these things, but it's not serving us. And so that's what Quivr is giving back to women. It's the ability and the skill set and the mindset to be able to say, this serves me, this does not, and this is how I'm going to achieve it. Yeah.
So we've been talking about all this good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it might not sound good to everyone, but you know, we're talking about how to turn something negative into a positive.
Yeah.
But you know, this is Founder Fumbles.
Founder Fumbles.
And what I want to know, what I want to learn about is like kind of like your lowest moment. You know what I mean? Like, just tell me about a time where you felt like giving up, or you thought, this is too much.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Just tell me about your. Just make it simple. Just tell me about your lowest moment. How'd you get out of that?
That's easy. Remember when we first started off talking, we were talking about how I was like, I built this app and I don't even need it. When we finished our program and I was done building the Quivr app, it just ended up being more work than I even needed, and it didn't solve the problems that I went in trying to solve. And it cost me money, it cost me energy, it cost me time, and it cost me a year of my business to figure out that this isn't the solution, it's not working, and I haven't made any money. I would make money a little bit here, a little bit there, but I am a single mom of 3.
You're spending more money than
I'm spending more money than it was remotely coming in. I mean, when my app first launched, I made a great amount of money up top. People bought a year subscription, and I'm like, great. Those were all the friends and the family and some initial early adopters. I had a good wait list, and they bought the year, and it was great. But the problem with that was I was uneducated in terms of the maintenance, the ongoing maintenance of the app, plus the other aspects of my business were suffering. I was making money from day one when I was coaching, when I was pleasure coaching. And in the time that I was building that app, that stopped. I didn't have time for it. I didn't have time to coach, which consequently stopped the revenue, right? No money, the faucet was turned off. That was it. And I had to stop and think, this isn't even the solution. My clients aren't even using it, right? And if they're using it, they're kind of like, all right, this is cool. I got this information, but how does this correlate with the heavy work that we're doing, which is the coaching work? And I had to stop and say, why am I spending time, energy, and money on this? And my clients don't even want it. They're not using it. They're not engaging with it. They need something else.
Right.
And so that was a low point. And I'll tell you, it was a low point for me because as the CEO and the founder of Quivr, I knew when I was being talked into building this thing that I didn't need it. I already had an MVP that just needed to be enhanced, and that's what I wanted.
You didn't need a whole app. Right?
I didn't need a whole app. I was using the Mighty Network, and it was able to host my community. It was
Mighty's good.
Yeah, it was able to host my community, the content. I could coach from there. I could go live from there. I could hold my webinars from there. I could do everything that I needed to do to stay engaged with the Quivr women that I was coaching and working with. And the app that I built couldn't do any of that. All it could do was hold content, and you couldn't download from it. You couldn't save the content. Yeah, so it was a couple of steps backwards. It was a bunch of steps backwards. And, you know, as the CEO, as the founder, I had the responsibility to know this is what your business needs, and you should advocate for that, and not someone who's just stepping in the middle and guessing, like, nope, you need to build this, you need to do this. Like, no, it's your business. You know who your customers are, you know what they want, and you know what they're engaging in.
Right.
Yeah, so that was definitely a low point because it was scary, right? And being responsible for 3 other people beyond myself and 2 dogs. It's like, I don't have any money.
So now I heard about something you did. You making like 10,000 or something.
Yeah.
So you went from losing all that money doing this app to making close to 10,000.
Yeah, and that's, to be fair, it goes up and down, and now it's pretty steady. So if I sell the Quivr method, that's $8,000 out the gate, right? So if I sell one, that's $8,000. But at the time, when I first kicked off, I'm like, hey, I'm making $10,000 a month. That was just still throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to figure out what makes sense for my coaching packages.
Right.
Am I selling packages? And then I also realized, coming from my customers, they're like, girl, this is great, but like 3 sessions for, $3,000, I'm not getting enough. Like, I need more time with you, but I can't keep paying $3,000 every 3 months. Well, it's just not practical for me.
Right.
And so I was thinking about it and was like, well, I have a method. I have a way in which I coach, and there's certain things that we cover, and I just kind of condensed them down. And then the thought process was, well, they'll just buy another package and they'll get that another part of it.
Right.
It was cumbersome, it was heavy, my customers didn't like it, and it just felt like a money grab. And at that point, I had enough customers and clients and people interested to say, let me build something for them that makes sense, that's sustainable, and then convert them into a subscription model. So built out the Quivr method. It's a 10-month program. And for months 1 through 8, we're giving you all the tools to have sustainability in your pleasure life. We give you a pleasure plan. We recalibrate that every month. You coach with me twice a month. You have access to our platform that I just went to Stan Store. And so we've got a community on Stan Store. You can go down there, over there, pull down the curriculum that you, not necessarily curriculum, I guess that's the wrong word, the content that you need for the month that you're in. So if I'm asking you to work on a certain journal, if I'm asking you to do certain exercises or certain rituals, you can go out to the community, you can pull down these resources and have access to them, which I couldn't do in the app, right? And then they can also interact with other women on there and say, hey girl, what month are you in? Are you in month 4? Are you in month 8? How's it in month 8? So we built out the Quivr method because that's what Quivr women needed. And then not too long ago, I had my first woman who was coming off of the 10-month program say, but I'm not ready to leave you. What's next, right? And so I thought...
That's when you get into the pole dancing and the twerk.
Right. So, which are some add-ons. We do have those.
Right.
But what I did was say, I still love the idea of a subscription model, right? But up front, it doesn't make sense. So once you have finished the 10-month Quivr method, you're now able to move into our maintenance subscription, right? So you only coach with us once a month, but you still have access to our workshops, our events, our resources, the community. You're still with us. So I always kind of liken it to Apple, right? If you've got an iPhone and you've got a Mac computer and you've got your iPad, everything's connected, right? You need one for the other. And so that's what I wanted to do with the subscription after you have finished the Quivr method, which is you get to still hang out with us. You're not just gone off into the abyss. You're still a part of the community. And for $325 a month, that's what you get. If you want to have more coaching sessions, then yep, you can a la carte add that. But that was the solution that the Quivr woman needed. She didn't need this app that isn't this one-to-one high-touch moment. She needed a high-touch moment and the ability to access those resources. And then if there was something particular that she wanted to attend or learn more about, she could do that through our workshops and events, etc. So, and I was killing myself trying to do these monthly workshops and put them out to the public. I'm like, why am I doing that? These women pay a ton of money to coach with me. Let's keep it in the community. And it just comes with the $8,000 that you pay for the 10-month program. So, yeah.
You know what I was thinking is, because I remember you said something about the coaches before. I was thinking like once they finish learning the Quivr method, then they now have the credentials. They're like Quivr certified now. Now they can coach.
Not quite.
No, I'm not saying that you're doing that. Or that's the way I understood it, but that's what I thought you were about to say, and I thought it would be a good idea, like just to keep the cycle going.
Yeah.
Because once they go through Quivr University, they're alumni, they can coach now. Maybe because I know a lot of people are doing these days is like they're making ways for their customers to also make money within their.
Oh, we definitely have that. So if
you
do a referral, so the package is $8,000. So if you do a referral and somebody comes to me, you'll get $350, right? So you make a referral and you coach with Quivr, here's $350 for you, right? Or that's a month of your subscription, whatever works for you.
I was watching this other podcast not too long ago. I've been hearing that if you boost up your referral program like that 40-50%, then you get way more referrals.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not saying that you should do it, and that's what I'm telling you.
Well, I started off at 75.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, I'm making enough money to say, hey, what's $350 out of the $8,000? And we also give women, they'll get every couple of months a Quivr box, right? The Oh Yes box.
Damn.
And the Oh Yes box has 4 toys or accessories in it every month. We tell you how to use it and all that great stuff. So that's part of the price too. But so for me, I was like, okay, if somebody does a referral, it's about $8,000, $8,500, depending on what add-ons they add on to their Quivr method package.
Right.
What's $350 to me? And then they're excited to tell their girlfriends, like, oh, girl, you need to go do this, blah, blah, blah. And they're getting paid, right? So things are working out pretty good. But in terms of the coaching, you're right. I mean, I'm training a new coach right now, and we do go through the Quivr method, the full 10 months, but she has to learn from a different perspective as well. Not just what the content is, what each month is, but really how to support that, because there's going to be customers sometimes who are like, yeah, we have to do a lot of modification, because there is a customization part of it. So like I said, we have a pleasure plan that we give to everybody. So that coach has to be able to recalibrate that pleasure plan and know what that means. So right now, I am not charging people to learn how to be a Quivr coach, because there's a sales aspect of it as well. But down the line, it is definitely part of that revenue model, right? Hey, you want to be a certified Quivr coach? It's going to cost you X amount of dollars. You come through, you learn how to do Quivr method. And if you want to go off and you live in Detroit, you can say, hey, I'm a Quivr certified coach, and it's Quivr franchised.
Right.
Yeah.
So I heard you say something earlier about manifesting or something like that. Meditating in the morning. Do you believe like in the law of attraction and stuff like that?
I do. I am like a big believer in terms of like manifesting things. Like if I can see it, if I can picture it, then I can make it happen, right? And I also feel like as an entrepreneur, you have to be like foolishly optimistic, right? Yeah. I do think that. So I am pretty big with just slowing down and saying, this is my goal. I want this. I need this. How am I going to achieve it? And getting real comfortable with saying, this didn't work. Just like the app, I'm like, this didn't work. What do I need to do? I need to get more clients. How do I get more clients? I need more really good strategic partnerships. Maybe all of it's not strategic partnerships. Maybe it's me walking into hair salons and saying, hey, let me tell you about Quivr. Can I come back tomorrow? Can I bring like pizza or salads or whatever? Talk to you guys for 30 minutes, tell you what Quivr is. And then as ladies come, because I do this, as ladies come in to get their hair done, because what do hairdressers do is sit there and talk to people about their problems all day. And I know that for myself, I would go in and be like, oh my God, this is what's going on with my sex life, right? And I was like, hey, for every referral, if I've partnered with this salon or this yoga studio, etc., for every referral you guys make, that's $500. So I give them $500. So the hairdressers are like, hey, make sure you go to Quivr, call them, tell them that Carrie sent you, right? Because Carrie's looking for her $500, and I'm happy to give it to her, right? So, yeah, that's the deal.
So what type of, you believe in the law of attraction and, manifesting and stuff like that. Do you have like any like daily type of routines that you do? Like, do you like wake up and you meditate, or do you go to the gym at a certain time every day? Like, what do you do to keep your mind together?
Yeah. So for a while,
daily routine.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. For a while, I was not practicing what I preached. It was just go, build this business. And I'm like, how are you going to talk to people about pleasure first life when you're not even living it? And so I had to say, well, what's the Quivr method? What am I telling other people to do? And so, yeah, I do start my day. I am pretty routine. I am pretty ritualistic. Before I get out of bed, I meditate. And then I always give myself 3 gratitudes for the day, 3 things that I'm proud of, and 3 things that I desire. That's before I even get out of bed. It has to happen.
Right.
And then I get up, and then I have my hot lemon water. I like to sit by myself for a bit before the house starts moving around. I get up, I walk my dogs, but the biggest piece of that is I take time to do the things that make me happy. Just period. I love the art museum. So once a week, like, what am I going to do this week that is just for me? So this week I'm going to go to the botanical gardens tomorrow. Now that it's nice and beautiful out, I love to hike. Don't put me inside. Don't make me be inside. So on Fridays, I don't work on Fridays anymore. That's it. I go somewhere and I hike. I pick a new trail, preferably ones with waterfalls.
You got the passport?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
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 We should go on. I got like maybe 5 or 6 stamps.
Let's do it.
We should plan
Let's do it.
Double day hike thing.
I'm here for it. We could do that for sure.
No, that'd be
yeah.
clutch.
So I don't work on Fridays anymore because I'm like, I feel like I've earned it. So I was having people schedule meetings on my calendar Friday at 5 o'clock, and I'm like,
no, I don't do business on Fridays anymore.
No, I'm like, I'm not broke anymore.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think I want Fridays off.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really a matter of like, and I meditate before bed. So once all that's done, I meditate before bed. For my kids, there was a period of time that I was just so busy and just working all the time and not looking up, and saying part of the reason why I wanted to be an entrepreneur is so I could be a more present mother. And that went out the window. So now that I have a little bit more control over my schedule, I'm like, no, we eat dinner together. We're doing this.
Yeah.
No, you have to sit upstairs with me for a little bit and just hang out, and I want to talk to you and see how your life is going. So, I mean, those things.
Come sit down.
Yeah, no, really. Come sit next to me, right? So those things are must-dos every single day, because those are the things that really fill my cup. Because at the end of the day, Quivr is fulfilling for me, but it's also my job, right?
If you can go back and tell yourself, like, one thing, you know, as the entrepreneur you are today, you can go back and tell yourself, when you first started becoming an entrepreneur, before access mode, what would that one thing be?
If I had to give myself advice, or just like, hey, you should watch out for this?
The same thing.
Yeah.
You pick one thing that you can say.
Yeah.
You don't really need the Quivr app. Not that. It could be that, but
I think it would go back kind of to that story, which is, you're the CEO, you are responsible for this. Don't ever let somebody back you into a corner and tell you what needs to happen with your business if it doesn't make sense, and you know it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the give or take, in terms of like, not all advice is good advice, but be open to hearing it. And my downfall was I listened to it and I took it for gospel. I tried to push back, and I didn't push back hard enough, right? I didn't push back, and I didn't walk away. I could have walked away. And I think I was afraid to do that. So I think I would have told old me, you're not this pushover. Why are you doing this here? This is your business. At the end of the day, it's on you. Stick to what you know.
Yeah.
It's your business.
Right.
And if you fail, if you make the mistake, it's yours. You're not going to kick yourself later and say, I should have.
But that's the thing in like entrepreneurship. It's a lot of failures.
Yeah.
You fail a lot of times before you actually, learn something. And that's why, as far as like, because it's sometimes I feel like, the Zeta stuff, the app is just not working.
Yeah.
Even though I'm getting 2 to 20 new downloads every single day.
Yeah.
How many people are buying the premium version? Then I keep fixing things in the premium version, and then it doesn't.
Something else will happen.
Something else will happen. It's the sale still doesn't increase, or everything.
What
looks
moves the
great,
needle?
What moves the needle?
Yeah.
But then I heard that when it comes to having a mobile app company, it takes like minimum 6 years
to get the kind of traction that you
get the kind of traction you minimum.
Yeah.
I'm on year 5 now.
Yeah. You're like, where's the traction?
Come on,
it's
now.
hard.
So I'm doing this
it's
podcast
hard.
stuff, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you have to do things outside of it, but so with that being said, what does success mean to you in Quivr?
Yeah.
What does success mean to you?
God, I feel like this is like a common question, and I never know the answer to it.
Mm-hmm.
What does success look like?
I mean, just what's the dream?
Yeah.
You can just say that.
I think the dream would be, I don't know, I feel like it moved. It moved from when I started. When I first started Quivr, the dream was like, I want $100 million exit, and that, it was like just this craziness. And not to say that that's crazy. If that's your dream, that's your goal, you should go for it.
Because you probably already reached your dream from the last time that we met. You're probably here already, and you have a new dream, right?
Yeah, then it moves, right?
Yeah,
because for me, it was a matter of like, okay, where's that product market fit? Let me make sure that like this is what women want, blah, blah, blah. And I think I've got it now, right? Mm-hmm. So now it's a matter of like, all right, I know that I need minimum 15 women a year to make my financial goals. This means I can support my family, I can support Quivr, and I can potentially hire someone. And so I know that that's 15. If I want to go over the top and make like great, amazing, crazy money, then the most that I personally can handle coaching and while running Quivr without adding a couple more coaches would be 24, right? And so the thought process is once you hit 24, then you add 2 more coaches, blah, blah, blah. So that's how I plan to grow and scale. But I think the ultimate goal for me is to be able to say, I have enough Quivr coaches to be able to support whatever amount of women want to come and experience this. And I can happily move to Costa Rica, Thailand, and not worry about whether or not my business is still moving and still rolling and still working, right? Yeah. I've got good, solid coaches. I've got somebody who can run the company day-to-day stuff. Am I still around? Maybe for a while. I don't know what my retirement number is yet. But that's the goal. The goal is to be able to, quite frankly, go on vacation and not take my laptop. It's what it was 2 years ago. Now I'm like, I just want to go on vacation and leave my laptop at home.
Right.
So
that piece.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I don't know when that'll happen. I'm hoping in 2 years, but we'll find out.
I was thinking like you potentially find someone to get in your spot and then you just go out and speak.
Yeah.
Because you are.
I would love to do that.
Speaker.
That'd be great.
If you could just speak for a living.
Yeah.
Just pop up and just. How much do you charge for your services? $100,000. Okay, I'll take it.
Yep.
Whatever. 50,000.
Yeah.
15,000.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Just traveling.
I do have that goal. I would love to do a TED Talk one day.
You would be fire.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, you would be.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
That'd be cool.
So, how is it like? Who keeps you going?
Yeah.
Who keeps you going? Is it parents, your relationship, kids?
All of the above. I understand the power of a network now for sure. Of a community, maybe not a network, right? Mm-hmm. Because I feel like when you say network, it ends up just being like these are the people I talk to just for work, right? But I'm talking about my community, my tribe, my people, right?
I'm in there, right?
Yeah, you're in there. And that's because you don't realize when you start an entrepreneur journey, you're like, I'll just build this thing, people will come and like, I got this, I can do this. Like, no, it is grueling work. It's hard, it's emotional, it's killer. If you didn't have depression before, you probably do now, right?
Scary.
And it's my people. I look at my kids and I think about, hey, they deserve to see their mom win. And they deserve to see, you don't have to follow this specific formula to be successful. I look at my mom who, my father passed away a little over a decade ago. And she's been so supportive from day one. And by supportive, I mean like, I know you're broke. Y'all need some groceries. All the way to like, come talk to your mom, right? I have amazing girlfriends. I know that some people are, I like boys more than girls. But I'm like, no, I like my girls. Like, they're dope. They're brilliant women. And they've all poured into me in a capacity like, Amber, you are amazing. You can do this. You're just as brilliant, right? And so they're always supportive. They always show up to the things. They're always like, how can I help? And you need me to repost that or whatever. But I know that I got lucky in that space because they are amazing. I do have a great partner. He's amazing. And I met him on this entrepreneur journey. And he keeps me moving. He keeps me motivated. And the times that I'm like, this sucks, I suck, I hate this, and I want to quit. And he's like, why not just take the afternoon off before you throw this away, right? Maybe we need a weekend. Maybe we need whatever, right? But there are times where I'm like, fuck this, fuck that, this sucks, I hate it. And he's like, how can I help, right? So...
Solid.
Yeah, so I think you do, when you start this journey, you need people. You can't do it by yourself. I mean, we talk about that, right? You can't do this by yourself. And I think a lot of people try and go at it by themselves, and it's like, nah, you gotta let people in.
That's why I build Ziga.
Yeah, you gotta let people in. You gotta tell them what your problems are. And I think I always say there's two things that humble you: giving birth, because you're just out there, right? And starting a business. You have to learn. And I have always been the kind of person that's like, nope, I don't need your help. Nope, I'm too embarrassed to tell you that I can't do this on my own, or I don't have this answer, or I can't afford this, right? But then I had to quickly let that go and say, this is a great thing, and I'd love to do it, but I can't afford it. And you'd be amazed at how many people are like, well, how do I donate? How do you do this? I was trying to go to a pitch contest once and just kind of put it out there and raised over $3,000 in 2 days to get where I was trying to go. And my business coach, I reached out to her and she's like, all right, we got your plane tickets. So you never know, like your network, they're behind you, they're cheering for you. And that's the kind of community you want. And you'll learn very quickly the people who are there because they love you and they believe in you, and the people who are there who are being opportunists.
Right.
You know, I've had people like, how do I, I can do this content for you, and I can do this, and I can do that. And I'm like, well, where were you like 6 months ago? Or, Yeah, I needed you. How come I've never seen you like any of my posts? You see me, right? But now you want, oh, okay, I see. Yeah. So, yeah, I can't say just one person because I've been pretty fortunate to have a good tribe.
A solid group of people.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Man, it was great having you, Amber.
Oh, thank you.
This was fantastic. Probably my favorite one so far.
Hey.
Yeah. But tell everybody where to find you.
Yeah, for sure.
Social media, LinkedIn, everything.
Absolutely. So everything is quivr.global, QUIVR.global. So if you're on Instagram, QUIVR.global. If you're on TikTok, QUIVR.global. If you are on LinkedIn, QUIVR.global, or you can link in with me. I love to talk to people, and it's Amber J. Simon. It's my picture, and I'm laughing hysterically in my LinkedIn picture. Let's see. The website today is www.quivr.global, although that will be switching over to the quivrmethod.com shortly. And I feel like that's it. And you can always email me. I like giving out my email. I'll just give it to you guys because this is your audience. And it's amberjoy@thepink-cookie.com. And there's a story there, but that's my email.
Yep. So everybody go reach out to Amber.
Yeah.
And just thank you.
You're very welcome, my friend. It was cool being here.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'm gonna lock this up, everybody. Thanks for coming to Founder Fumbles episode 3.
Hey, I'm in the top 5.
I'll see y'all episode 4.
All right, be well.